The European Union was created as a response to the Second World War to try to prevent the Third World War. Because we had had two European wars which spilled out across the whole world in a single generation. And in fact, it was successful in locking France and Germany, in particular, into an economic alliance. And then we saw the collapse of communism. And what's exciting about that, I mean, I travel quite a lot in those territories. I've just come back from Kazakhstan, Belarus, from Ukraine. These countries are all playing big catch-up now with massive infrastructure, huge real estate booms, and economies which are roaring ahead. And Moscow has become as expensive as London, almost, in some ways, almost as expensive as Mumbai, I think, if that is possible. I mean, these countries are all, these big cities are becoming very, very big centers of entrepreneurial business activity. But outside of those big cities are the greatest economic opportunities. If you drive 100 miles, 200 miles, 300 kilometers, if you go on a plane for 1 hour to 2 hours, 3 hours to somewhere like Samara or Togliatti in Russia, you find totally undeveloped territory where there's very little manufacturing, where goods are being transported vast distances by road, where there's logistical nightmares, where the biggest road, motorway, is the width of this platform. You wouldn't believe it, would you? That the main road from Moscow all the way to Samara, across the heart of Russia, is just 2 lanes wide, and if 2 articulated lorries meet each other, they have to go carefully, and there's also holes in the road. You wouldn't believe it, but that's Russia today. So there are massive opportunities in terms of regional development, even if you go to Russia and to Moscow and you think it's all sewn up. And the same is true in Ukraine, especially in countries like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and so on. So I think they're very, very exciting countries. Each one is different, it has a different culture. Some of them are rushing towards the EU, others are looking back to Moscow. Belarus is looking back towards Moscow. Kiev, half of Kiev, 3/4 of Kiev is looking towards the west. So, very interesting places, fascinating places, I think, for all kinds of alliances.